everybody, Deadpool TS back again with some Stanley Parable. Last time we just ignored everything they said, and it was an interesting time. So this time I guess we'll see if we just follow them. And I fixed the aspect ratio. I totally goofed on that last time, and it was kind of weird, but it'll be good hopefully from now on. So let's go ahead and begin, because the end is never, the end is never, the end is loading. Knee. Northeast, to the northeast. The end is northeast. Okay. Wonder if that's true. Why doesn't it look like... Oh, okay, there. Now it's moving. Excuse me. Oh, no, that is not professional. Come on and load.
This is the story of a man named Stanley.
Yeah, we know the beginning already. And I don't know if it's just my headphones or if the sound's really low. Subtitles are on though, so you should be able to see those. Oh yeah, so la 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 la. Let's leave.
All of his co-workers were gone.
Oh yeah.
What could it mean?
I don't know.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room.
Where
Perhaps
is
he had
everybody?
simply missed a memo.
Oh no, I missed the memo. I have to hurry. Hurry. There's a meeting starting without me. I need to get to the meeting. Where's the meeting room? I still wish I could jump.
When Stanley came to a set of two
Go to the
open
left,
doors,
okay. I will
he
go to
entered
the
the door on his left.
I will do whatever you say this time, because I need to get to the meeting.
Yet there was not a single
Where's-
person here either.
There's no one here.
Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Targets. Push for funding for R&D of new coffee machine. Standard graphics for wide. Get Chris out of the broom closet. Okay. Synergized paper. Hire someone to synergize papers. Papers are too synergized. Fire paper guy. Hire somebody to fire the paper synergized guy. Who moved my desk? Please keep the targets on the topic of...
Stanley just stood there doing nothing at all. He seems to think I have nothing better to do with my time than to sit around and describe every fascinating little detail of his inability to do anything.
No,
This is why Stanley and I are on such good terms.
I was just reading it. Not cost efficient to standardize graphics. Okay. Future was yesterday. Tomorrow is now. Tomorrow complete today's unsatisfied. Alright, let's get out of here. Where are we going? The broom closet. Huh?
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track. There was nothing here. No choice to make, no path to follow, just an empty broom closet.
I don't believe you.
No reason to still be here.
There's something in here. I know it.
It was baffling that Stanley was still just sitting in the broom
Alright,
closet.
fine.
He wasn't even doing anything. At least if there was something to interact with, he'd be justified in some... Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
But what's downstairs? Should we go downstairs first? Yeah, let's go downstairs first. No, can't open door. Oh, spooky basements! Spooky basements! I don't like spooky basements. Spooky basements are spooky. Why are we going into a spooky
But Stanley
basement?
just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all.
$1.25
None
for
of
a
it
can
made
of
any
soda?
logical sense. And as Stanley
It's
pondered
ridiculous.
this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down?
Oh
Why
God.
did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming, he yelled. This is all a dream.
Is it? Because, yeah, I'm going around in
Relief
circles.
Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground. Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner.
What?
Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking?
Yeah.
Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself?
I'm just going around in
Believing that
circles
if
now.
he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself?
Can't
Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life.
Let me out of
Now,
here.
hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream.
Okay.
So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment, and my wife, and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine. I am okay.
Are you? Are you really? Nope. We're right back where we started.
Stanley began screaming. Please, someone, wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I
What
must
is
be.
going
Can anyone
on?
hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black. This is the story of a woman named Mariella.
What?
Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy, this much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day, the very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life.
Do I get to play as
She
her
had
now?
no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
Okay. Well, that was interesting. Huh.
All of his co-workers were gone.
Alright,
What
alright.
could
So
it
we're gonna
mean?
go through and we're gonna do
Stanley
it the right
decided
way
to go to the
now and
meeting
see what
room.
happens.
Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Since diverging from the path seems to lead to certain doom.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he
I'm
entered the
going through
door
the
on his
door.
left.
Into the meeting room. Oh look, no
Yet
one's
there was
here.
not a single person here
Let's go
either.
talk to my boss.
Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might
really want
find
to see
an
what happens
answer
if I
there.
just like
Coming to a
stand in that room
staircase,
class.
Stanley walked
Closet.
upstairs to his boss's office.
Is my boss office? No. It's a weird building. No, that's the executive bathroom. I do not have to poop. No, can't open those doors. Okay, they're here.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this. Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
Huh? What the hell is going on now? Let's go this way. Going down. Mr. Voice? What's going on, Mr. Voice? Loading. Loading. I hate loading. Loading. Now it's just loading, 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 loading,
Descending
loading.
deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him?
Yeah, why now?
This question would not go unanswered for long.
It's kind of dark in here.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Escape.
Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death.
I don't believe you. You're lying. He's lying.
The door behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track.
Oh, really? Do I? Well, you know me.
At this point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death.
So, this is my death. Well, it is an escape of sorts. This game is really weird. Oh look, I'm not dead.
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise, he reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever. Stanley can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is. Perhaps his death was of no great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from a blind man. So he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end to his brief and shallow life. Farewell, Stanley.
I don't want to look. I don't want to look. I don't want to look. I don't want to look.
Farewell, Stanley, cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body,
Ouch.
killing him instantly.
Okay. Where are we? What's going on? There's some boxes here. I can't see anything.
And yet it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever.
Uh-huh.
What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish?
Yeah, really.
When every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless, making life the same. Do you see now? Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
Weird. Weird. What is going on? Office computers. Got the filing cabinets. It's like weird credits. Huh. So do you want to go left or do you want to go right? Office clock. The hell is... Just some stairs going up. Stairs going down. Mind control facility. What's this? Narrator's outtakes. I don't get it. See if I can get just need a, yeah, almost, curating the voice of the narrator recorded dialogue for the entire game roughly 3 separate times over the 2 years of development. These are clips from earlier takes that were not used in the final game. What are? How do you, I would like to hear them. Can I, like, sit in here? No? Fine, screw you guys. You gotta, like, unlock them. Yeah, right, I'm out of here. So, yeah. Don't know what's really going on anymore. Pretty much sure we died. And, you know, we're in some kind of gallery for the game or something like that. I like these things. Can I? These levers were originally part of the Zending player use. Alright, so how do I just... Trailers? No, this is like a freaking stupid extras menu thing that I don't want to be... I guess we could do that, like if you hit escape. Yeah, we'll begin again. Alright, next time, and then we'll go through like completely the way it wants us to.